Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. As today we go across the pond to preview two very big races within the context of the Breeders' Cup Classic. We will be doing the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Saratoga as well as the Pacific Classic at Del Mar. So both races over the Breeders' Cup Classic trip of 10 furlongs. And you have almost all of the big players running here, besides obviously Sovereignty, who won last week or the weeks before, and Japan's Forever Young. Both races are for 3-year-olds and upwards, but actually the Jockey Gold Cup has none of the classic generation. It's just the older horses. And we will start with the Pacific Classic race. I remember staying up for, will be 3 years ago now, that Flightline won, and that was one of the best performances that I have ever seen live. He was absolutely exceptional then around the home bends, just destroying Country Grammar, who I think was a big Group 1 or Grade 1 winner in his own right. Fond memories of Flightline?
Yeah, very much so. Like many people, I was sort of sad that he was retired so early. I mean, obviously, if they've got the stud value, they've got a superstar. Why not take the money? But it was a shame in a way because I reckon he had more to give.
Yeah. I think he only ran 6 times or something, disappointingly, and only 2 of those would have been Grade 1s potentially. But yeah, supreme on his day. So let's get started with the Pacific Classic and the horses lining up. And we've got Journalism is the favourite. He's 13-8, the Preakness winner. Then we've got Nysos, fairly unexposed, rapidly improving horse for Bob Baffert at 15-8. Fierceness, potentially the best 3-year-old, or at least the owner would say so, of last year. He is 9-2. Midnight Mammoth 25s, Tarantino 33s, Ultimate Gamble 33s, Indispensable 50s, and Lurman 66s. So for context, we are recording this at 11 o'clock in the morning UK time on Saturday. For those of you, again, in America, these are based on UK bookmakers' best odds. And let's get straight into it with the Preakness winner, Journalism. Only horse that has managed to beat him is Sovereignty, but I wasn't actually that impressed by Journalism's win last time out. So how do you see him as favourite in this market?
Yeah, if Sovereignty didn't exist, you'd have 7 runs, 7 wins, 5 Grade 1s on the trot, a Triple Crown winner. Would be heralding a superstar, wouldn't we? But no, he's been well beaten by Sovereignty, fair and square, the 2 times he's faced. You're right, last time out, it wasn't the biggest field and he took a while to get on top, but he was relentless in the stretch. And this one will come. He'll sit mid-pack or worse. He will come, and I'm pretty certain he'll take the lead. The question is whether anything is good enough to overtake him. One doubt you've got is he's had quite a few runs. Is it 6 runs already this season? Some people were thinking, perhaps as the last time out wasn't his best performance, maybe they'd rest him and bring him up to the Classic. But no, he's back out. This time he doesn't have to travel for this time, first time in a while, because he's a West Coaster. And I guess he is your most likely winner, but we put this guy up for the Classic at 12-1, and I don't want to take him at 13-8. It just feels too short. Another slight niggling thing about this, he does specialize in finding, I wouldn't say trouble, but not the best of trips, gets squeezed sometimes, has to go through gaps, finds himself blocked in. All these things add up to me not really liking him at 13-8, but he's an absolutely terrific horse, and back in California, he'll be a handful here.
Yeah, and Del Mar, I know we associate it as being a particularly tight track on the turf course, but does the same go on the dirt track?
Yeah, and it's a relatively short straight, but I think that favours this guy who just might be better at 9 furlongs, and a sort of tighter track. 10 furlongs might be better for him. But yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to pick holes in him. To say that he's been beaten by Sovereignty twice is the most you can do in terms of what his disappointments are on the track. So while we didn't win the way we wanted to, as it were, last time out for a short price favourite, he still turns up every single time, gives him running, unlike some horses we'll mention.
Yeah. Okay. Next in the betting is Nysos, who, as mentioned, he's very unexposed. At the beginning of this, or sort of, you wouldn't have felt you needed to add another ingredient to the mix of these US 12 furlong horse or 10 furlong horses, but in comes Nysos, having had 450 days off track. He's back with 2 easy wins. And does Bob Baffett have another superstar?
Potentially, yes. This guy is really, really exciting. A number of people think he might be the best colt the best horse over a mile plus in North America. He's so unexposed. Partly because he had 450 days off. He started as a 2-year-old and was sort of vying for favours at the Kentucky Derby, but he got injured on the Kentucky Derby trail. Having just won races by extraordinary amounts, like no one knew where his ceiling lies. He's then come back and he's been beaten by Mindframe, who we'll talk about in the Kentucky, Jockey Club Gold Cup. Sorry, I have trouble getting that out in a minute. That was 7 furlongs in the slop, and he was traveling across the country. Last 2 races back in California, he's won them easily, open lengths. And last time out, we've got a horse in here, Tarantino, who he beat by 5 lengths, but he was giving him £5 as well as a weight thing. So he's winning those races easily in California, the last 2. Very shallow pool of talent he's been running against there. Now he's in deeper. So he'll be asked the question. But the other big question for this guy is to stretch out to 10 furlongs. I think I'm right in saying he's never run further than 1 1/8 miles. So he's got another furlong and a half to go against 2 proven very classy horses. So that'll ask questions. I should say there's no reason on breeding why he shouldn't do it. He's out of Nyquist and out of a Bernardini mare. That shouldn't be a problem. But with his sort of flashy talent and brilliance, that question mark has to be answered. And my view on this guy is if I was going to chuck a tenner on this guy, I wouldn't bet him in this race. I'd put it on him 12 to 1 or something for the Classic. Because if he wins this race like the brilliant horse that many people think he is, he'll be second favourite to Sovereignty potentially at a really short price. And then you'd have an exciting bet. And I'd rather lose my money that way at 12 to 1 than at 15 to 8 asking a horse questions that he hasn't been asked before.
Yeah. Okay. A different angle for Nysos then. And next in the betting, we've got Fierceness, who was favourite for last year's Breeders' Cup Classic, I think, when the gates opened. And he is a bit of Jekyll and Hyde type. And which of the 2 will be turning up today?
As per Jekyll and Hyde, who knows which of these 2 will appear. Fierceness he is inconsistent. So he has 2 or 3 absolute horror runs on his CV. Unlike Journalism, who's twice been bested in Triple Crown races by Sovereignty, but run superbly. This guy has been out with the washing a couple of times. Fair enough, the Kentucky Derby 20-horse field, things can go wrong, but he's sort of disappeared off the screen for other reasons as well in other races. Last time out was particularly disappointing because he was leading the Whitney and he surged into a 2-length lead, and that's 9 furlongs. And this guy's he's won the Travers over 10. Why did he not see that out? It's a real head scratcher. That said, so an appalling each way bet, even if the dead 8 hold, by the way, 8 horses in this road, appalling each way bet because he'll either turn up or he won't. If he turns up, he's a massive player, and I think he's the bet. I've had a little something myself on him. Was 5 to 1 yesterday. It's 9 to 2 now. I don't believe he will start that long. That's all I'll say with certainty. I won't say he's going to win with certainty because I know who's going to turn up. And even if the real Fierceness turns up, it's possible one of the other 2 could have his measure anyway. But I just think at 9 to 2, I think you're getting the value there. Only 3 horses can win this race. He is emphatically one, and he's too long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lots of form in front of Sierra Leone from last season, who ended up overturning it in the Classic. But Fierceness 9 to 2, win only suggestion. So
just one more thing on him. The other thing I quite like about him is he's got the inside draw, and I think the other things he could lead this all the way. Unlike the Jockey Club Gold Cup, which we'll come to, which will probably have a furious pace with an added pacemaker for good measure. I'm not absolutely sure the pace of this. Neither Journalism nor Nysos will want to lead. Fierceness can lead, doesn't have to. He can sit off another. But from the 1 hole, as the Americans call it, the inside, they'll go. They won't want him blocked in. And I can just about see him dictating this potentially. And then he's very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it was very different setup to the pacemakers in the Jockey Club. Cool. That is Fierceness, nice to do. And I think you've essentially given the game away with regards to my next question when you said only 3 of these horses can win. But given it is the dead 8, is there any each way value to fill the places?
Yeah, I'm going to have a tiny little something on one, but not until 4, 5, 6 p.m. this afternoon, whenever it is that we get the scratches in American races, even American big races. Scratches are commonplace. You need one horse to come out, and you've got a 7-horse field, and then this, what I'm about to say, would not apply at all. But Midnight Mammoth in 2 might be able to tuck behind Fierceness. His last 4 races, 4 back, 3 back, 2 back, absolutely dreadful. Good bet to come last in this. He has a break and he comes back and he runs a really quite good race last time. And I noticed on his CV, he's got a 10-length win at Del Mar, his only run at Del Mar in a big race. So that was at 12 furlongs. So this one, no issue with the stamina. No, he's not good enough, but he kind of looks to me the most appealing of the other 5. And if the distance proves too much to Nysos and he falls in a hole, or if Fierceness has a hide as opposed to a Jekyll day, if one of those or even 2 of them fill out the top 3 places, he's a likely one to come. And I think 25 to 1, the dead 8, I'll have a very small each way on Midnight Mammoth just in case.
Okay, yeah, flashing across screen there, Midnight Mammoth 25 to 1. The each way selection, but do be patient and wait till the scratches have come through. Okay, we will move away from the Pacific Classic then. Assume there is no other horses that you want to mention in that field.
No.
And we will go to the Jockey Club Gold Cup, which is taking place at what feels like quite early for UK viewers for US racing, 6:45, 6:45 Sunday early evening. And again, as mentioned earlier, this is just the older horses, but top quality bunch of older horses this is, with 2 Breeders' Cup Classic winners in the lineup. And we will start the betting talking about last year's winner, Sierra Leone. Horse up definitely requires a fast pace to show its best, given he likes to be held up, and seems like they've got the pacemakers in today to ensure that he will be given the perfect opportunity. And with that, do you think he is good value at 6 to 4?
Whether or not it's a good value at 6 to 4 is a question I'll come to in a minute. I will just say that you mentioned he needs pace to show his best. I mean, this horse, other than 1 race in his life, his reappearance this season when he was done, finished off the board in a weak race, obviously clearly needed it. He's always turned up. So these 2nd, 3rd, and 4th throughout last summer in all the big races, your Belmonts and your Whitneys and whatever they were, he was finishing 2nd, 3rd, coming late, not getting it done. It's just when there's a real hot pace like the Breeders' Cup Classic, then perhaps that shows him at his best. And last time he was on the figures and on the eye, he did look very much back to his absolute best. It wasn't actually a crazy fast pace, but it was a decent pace, and certainly Fierceness fell in a hole for whatever reason. This potentially sets up to have an even faster pace, so it really should suit him. But the only thing you'd say is he's at 12 runs and he's won 5 and lost 7. Maybe it comes down to pace and he's got pace here, but it doesn't always reward, backers at short prices, and he always starts at short price. So most likely winner, and perhaps with pace here, with a stamina question mark over Mindframe, which we'll come to, he's the most likely winner. Maybe that is fair. I don't go in at 6 to 4 in fiercely contested races with a lot of good horses, so I won't. But he's your most likely winner, and if he wins this, he's your clear 2nd favourite for the Classic behind Sovereignty.
Yeah, and I assume the same would apply for Mindframe, who is next in the betting at 9 to 4. He's unbeaten this season, 3 runs, 3 wins, but he's yet to run over 10 furlongs. And how big a question mark is that for Mindframe?
He's yet to have won over 10 furlongs. He has. You go back to last season, there are 2 very interesting races. One was the Belmont, and the other was the same horse, Dornock, who won the Belmont. I'm going to say the Whitney, but I could be wrong on that. But anyway, 2 Grade 1s. Both those races, he took the lead, and this is happening. He had very few races. He's a supreme talent, but then he sort of veered greenly left and right all over the place, as if, was it just greenness because he was young, or was he coming to the end of his stamina tether? And this is, a question. If this is a fast pace, this is a question will be answered tomorrow. But as you say, he's 1-1-1 this season. He's beaten Sierra Leone on the 2 occasions those horses have met, perhaps in circumstances favouring this one. I wouldn't put anyone off him, but again, asking that unknown question about a fast pace over 10 furlongs, can he win against this sort of field? I don't know. And so I'd absolutely echo Nysos, what I said about Nysos in the Pacific Classic, in that I'm not really interested in playing him as second favourite with question marks. But if he answers that question, then he goes to Del Mar Real, and again, he's a double figure price. That's where I'd rather put my tenner with this one rather than on 9-4 to win.
Yeah, okay. Next in the betting is Highland Falls, who we put up 25-1 each way for the Whitney Stakes, where he ran a good second. Are we still keen on him here?
Yes, I'm on him again. 9-1. It's too big. I don't know why it's 9-1. It's because the 2 sexy ones at the top, Sierra Leone and Mindframe, taking all the money. They've got another famous name horse we'll come to in a minute, who I like less than this one. Highland Falls won this last year, and he won it well. And he went to Del Mar on the back of that, where he flopped in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Maybe the configuration of Del Mar didn't suit him. Maybe the travel didn't suit him. Who knows why he didn't perform over there? But he performs well at Saratoga, and he was a very good. I mean, we put him up at 25s. And, he closed in from that. That was too big a price, but he still came second. Now, he was well beaten. Sorry, he was beaten fair and square by Sierra Leone, but we're only talking length and a quarter, something like that. And that was beaten square and fair. But the fact that he runs well at Saratoga, he won this last year. And this season, he looks like he's actually lightly raced for a 5-year-old. And he's come back, and he was excellent in his seasonal comeback. Okay, beaten a length last time by Sierra Leone. That's top-class form by anyone's standards. I just don't see why he wouldn't run well again. And I particularly like he's drawn post 2. And inside him is Disarm, who's not a forward horse. And beside him on the other side is Sierra Leone, who is emphatically not a forward horse. He'll be either last or vying for that position early. He makes these sweeping moves from the back. Highland Falls could sit quite a nice trip here, either in the pocket behind one other or sort of vying for the lead. And so the worry with this one is a contested pace battle, and he'll run relatively forward. And does he fall in a hole? But Fierceness found a hole last time, and this one didn't. He wasn't far off that pace either. So I just think this is a really good each-way bet, and for American viewers, that's in the European market, it's a linked win and place bet where you get a fifth of the odds if you come second or third, as well as the win bet. And so there's a decent return. You're making 40% on your investment if you come second or third. I think it's got a huge chance of being placed, and I think it's got a squeak of the win if this guy's still on upward curve. Not impossible, particularly if Sierra Leone hits traffic, which can happen for a horse that closes from.
Well, yeah, very positive words for Highland Falls. We will next talk about White Abarrio, who is disappointed a little since his romp in the Pegasus, and was that just because he was running against a weaker field, or do you think he's regressed since then? Or how could you explain White Abarrio's season?
On the official figures and on the clock, White Abarrio ran really well in the Pegasus. It was a weak field, but I mean, he slaughtered them. But that was his first good run in a while after some lame efforts. He had a disaster in the Middle East under Rick Dutroux, and that the height of his abilities was shown in 2020. I'm going to say 2023, the summer of 2023, and into the fall. 2 years ago, he was a blowout winner of blowout, as in very good winner of the Whitney, won by multiple lengths, on the basis of which me and many other people lumped on him for the Classic when he was still a double figure price. Went off, I think, favourite for that, and did the business in the Classic. So 10 furlongs, theoretically, no issue, but that was a weak Classic. That was 2 years ago. And since then, he's got a number of dull efforts. The Pegasus was a weaker field. He didn't have a competitor in the Pegasus like he's got with Sierra Leone, Mindframe, or possibly even Highland Falls here, because Locked, who in second, has been very disappointing since. So I'm against. That said, he'll probably be a shorter price in certainly in the American market. Memories of so many of these Great Days will excite some people. If he were to drift, on the exchange price, if you're getting sort of 15, 16, 71, I can see an argument for, why not? Just a small something, just in case we see the White Abarrio of old. But actually, back when he was racing, I don't think it was a strong competitive level as what he's got here. So I'd be surprised. Many horses vying for the lead. He needs to be very much near the lead up with it. I don't quite see it, but he's larger than I'd expect him to be in the betting market in America.
Okay. Follow the price of White Abarrio, then if he drifts, that could be of interest. 9-horse fields, do any of the outsiders cause any interest for each way betting?
Well, unlike the Pacific Classic, where for me, most of the outsiders are complete throwouts, there are some decent horses here. They're just not at the level of the top 3 or 4 that we've mentioned in terms of anything they've ever done, really. Disarm was a decent 3-year-old. Was close second in a Belmont, or be a weak one. Then he went completely off the boil at aged 4. Comes back and he picked up the each way money in the was it the Whitney last time at 46 to 1. Sorry, the Travers 46 to 1. That was quite a price. I don't see him repeating it here. I think he's got 4 better horses than in the betting. Plus, he was getting weight in the Travers. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm going to reverse myself. Not the Travers, the Whitney for the younger horses, not the Travers for. Oh my God, I'm getting it all over the place. Sorry, the Travers for the 3-year-olds. The Whitney, he was in the Whitney 46 to 1 of the Whitney. Apologise for all this nonsense, but he was getting £4 there from the other horses. I've no idea why some grade ones in America give weight breaks to some horses and not in others. He doesn't have a weight break here, so. I can't see him matching that with the £4 taken away. He has the one hole. Maybe he can sit behind what might be a fierce contested pace and plod to pick something up. But now he's 16 to, what do you got, 20 to 1 on the screen. That doesn't quite appeal. Shout outs would be Antiquarian is the same sort of price. He's a closer as well. It's not impossible he could get a piece, but I don't want to back him. Banishing ran only a week ago. I think he might scratch 33 to 1. He's got the wide outside in the form of his life, but he's never faced anything of this quality. Phineas Fogg, 33's last 4 figures, 1121 since switch of trainer. A good horse needs to be on the lead. Oh, there's going to be so much pace in here. I'd be staggered if he could hold on. And Contrary Thinking is your rabbit, 100 to 1, and no interest at all. He'll just add to the pace.
Yeah. Okay. Well, summarising that will be Highland Falls each way in the Jockey Gold Cup. And if you've forgotten what Daniel mentioned in the Pacific Classic, it was Fierceness at 92 win only, and Midnight Mammoth each way, provided that the dead 8 holds. So thank you very much for watching. We will wrap up fairly quickly because Daniel has to get off to the Chelsea away end for Fulham Chelsea game. And you need to get your cheese board in beforehand, don't you? And your glasses of red, as every Fulham fan will be. But thank you for watching. Any last words before we dip?
No, all good. Other than you might want to stay up. I don't know how many of you in Britain or Ireland stay up till 02:11 in the morning, or if you're watching this from Europe at 03:11 in the morning tonight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. But that's the only way you're going to catch the Pacific Classic live. And whether you're doing that and want to get involved with the British Cup Classic market, it'll be too late by the time you wake up tomorrow morning.
Will you be staying up?
The amount of time I spend involved in racing already puts something of a strain upon the marriage. I'm not sure this will go down hugely well, but it is distinctly possible. Yeah.
Well, I'll drop you a message at 1 a.m. to see if you're still going strong there. Cool. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll probably be back for a focus on European racing. We've got some big weekends coming up with the Irish Champion, St. Leger Festival, etc., etc. So you'll be seeing plenty of us over the next month. thanks for watching again. Do like, do comment, do let us know any thoughts that you have. Be interesting to hear the perspective of those out in the US and how these markets compare to the US markets, and if there's any arbitrage opportunities. And yeah, speak to you soon. Thank you.